Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see more examples related to multiplication of decimals. In this presentation, we shall see how to multiply decimals by the power when we multiply decimals by 10 or the power of tens. So let us write a small procedure for ourselves, and then we will implement this procedure to solve some simple examples. So the procedure for multiplying decimals by 10 and powers of 10 is as follows. Step number 1. To multiply a decimal by a power of 10, for example, 10 means 10 to the power of 1, 100 means 10 to the power of 2, 1000 means 10 to the power of 3, 10,000 means 10 to the power of 4, and so on. And we want to first perform the multiplication of those two numbers, and then as a second step, we want to move the decimal point to the right of the product the same number of places as there are zeros in the power of 10. If there is 1 0, we move it one place to the right. If there are 2 zeros in 100, there are 2 zeros, so therefore we're going to move 2 places to the right. And if in 1000 there are 3 zeros, and therefore we're going to move the decimal place 3 places to the right, and so on. So let us try to implement this procedure and then try to use it in some examples. Let's say we have an example of this type. We want to multiply 3.8946 by 10, or 10 is same as 10 to the power of 1, right? There is 1 0, so therefore it is 10 to the power of 1. Now let us try to see if we can implement the procedure we talked about. In step number 1, we're going to write the number down, 3.8946 multiplied by 10. In 10, we have 1 0. We have 1 0. And therefore, in 3.8946, we're going to move the decimal place one place to the right, and therefore we can write this as 38.946. So that's the way we can understand. We moved the decimal place in the answer to the right by one place because there was 1 0 in 10, right? So that is the way we want to understand this process. We'll call this we'll call this as the second step. We want to identify the number of zeros 10 has in there. So therefore, since it has 1 0, we're going to move the decimal place to the right one place because there is 1 0, and then we take the number 3.8946 and then move the decimal place one place to the right of 8, and therefore we can write the answer as 38.946. Let us see if we can solve another example with this same type of procedure. Let's take this number 3.8946, and this time we want to multiply by 100. 100 has 2 zeros in it, or 10 to the power of 2. We can also write 100 as 10 to the power of 2, like that. And therefore, if we were to implement this procedure as step number 1, we write the number down, 3.8946 multiplied by 100. In 100, we want to recognize in step 2, we want to come back and then say there are 2 zeros in 100. There are 2 zeros in 100, and therefore we can write, we're going to move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So we're going to write 3.8946. Since there are 2 zeros, we're going to move 2 places to the right. So it is going to be, we're going to place the decimal place after the 9, and therefore we can write this one as 389.46, like that. So in 100 there are two zeros, or in 10 to the power of 2 there are 2 zeros, so therefore if the number is given to us in an exponential notation, we can just take the exponent, or the 2, you take the exponent and then move the decimal place that many places to the right, and that would give us that is the correct procedure as to how we can perform multiplication when the second number involved in the multiplication process is a number which ends in zeros, or which ends in tens. If it is tens or multiples of tens, we can perform this operation. In my next presentation, we shall look at some more examples related to multiplication of decimals with power of tens.